I've titled today's presentation or today's talk, I'm not even going to call it a presentation, it's just a talk, we're having a conversation. I've titled it From Posts to Profits, the Evolution of Social Media Marketing. So my name is Kasongo Nyakaula Mungomba, and I'm just so excited to be here today. And even before I get into what I have to say, I want to say thank you to the faculty of ACU for allowing me the opportunity to be here and have a conversation with each one of you. I don't take it for granted. I really feel like it's such a privilege to be in your presence this afternoon. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a communications and digital marketing expert with over 5 years of experience. I've worked in both profit and non-profit areas. So my work has cut across from working in NGOs, then I've also worked in agency where I've done a lot of work with brands like PepsiCo. So if you've heard of PepsiCo, you've drank the PepsiCo drink before. They are the same people that make Lay's and all those other brands across. I've worked with brands such as Copau. So Copau is the people that make your Stay Soft, they make your Protex and things like that. I've also worked with brands like Ilovo Sugar, which is basically your Zambia sugar here, and many other brands. So at least you're in good hands this afternoon. At least I know something. So yeah, what you have to expect in today's presentation. We are going to take a comprehensive analysis of what social media is, and then we'll talk about the current digital landscape. Then we'll talk about the major 2025 social media marketing trends, and then we'll talk about AI and automation, and then we'll talk about platform evolution, and we'll talk about social commerce expansion, then we'll talk about your ROI, which is basically your return on investment measurement, and then we'll take a look at the future outlook and the strategic recommendations that I can give you if you're going to take a step and go into this industry. So it's going to be a quick one. So thank you and welcome. Okay, so as we are jumping right into it, what do you think social media is? Anybody? What do you think social media is? You've heard it. Forget the term that's here. This is just technical. But from your own mind and understanding, what do you think social media is? Anyone? Any thoughts? Yes, please.
These are social media. These are platforms that allow people to connect across the world.
Exactly. So, yes, please.
This guy you saying it's a scam.
It's a scam. I expect that actually, because in today's time, a lot of people have opinions for what it is and what it's not. Same with AI. Some people think it's a ghost. Some people think social media has come to destroy us. So it's not a scam. So like she said, social media is basically a set of platforms where users share content, ideas, and messages with each other. So it's a group of different platforms. You have your WhatsApp, you have your Facebook, you have your X, and many other platforms, your Pinterest and things like that. It's just a set of platforms where you go to connect with one another. You share your ideas of what you are thinking. Some of you even share what you are doing right now, chilling at ACU, you know, that kind of stuff. So we go on these platforms to share our ideas. We share messages with one another in real time. Now, the good part about social media is that it works in real time, unlike what it was before then. You know, before then, communication was very vague. For you to talk to somebody or communicate with somebody away from the norm was that you had to pick up the phone, call them, or even when we go even further, there were smoke signals and things like that. But in today's time, we have social media. You can know what's happening in your family's life because you can post about it on your Facebook. Say, oh, so-and-so got married to this person, or I'm with this person, or my location is this, and everything in that space. So social media has allowed for us to be able to do those things. Now, when we talk about social media marketing, does anybody have an idea of what social media marketing is, or if you've ever heard of the term social media marketing? Should we give an incentive for people that answer questions? Do you have any idea for what social media marketing is? Anybody? I want your own idea, not what's there. What do you think it is?
I think it's using the internet to market or to sell and buy things.
Okay, there's no wrong answer. I see another hand. Yes?
Yeah, so social media marketing is all about the effort of using digital channels, services, or platforms to connect with customers.
Yes. So every answer is actually correct. Now, I want to point out a key word in the term social media marketing. We have that term marketing, right? Now, most people think marketing is all about selling and buying, right? Because that's what you think it is. But I like to believe that marketing is an art of persuasion. It's about persuading people to buy into your idea. When you market something, it's not always for the intention to sell. Sometimes it's for awareness. So social media marketing has to do with using these platforms that we have described in order to achieve a goal for what we want people to buy into the idea, whether it's even including selling and buying. But away from selling and buying, social media marketing is for awareness and persuasion. Okay, so why is social media important in today's time? Why should we consider it important, or why should we use it? Why are we having this conversation today? So social media is very important for the following reasons. So I have a little diagram for you here. The first reason is for business growth. You know that in today's time, even young people have businesses. So you cannot have a business. Maybe if you're young, you're in college right now, you can't afford to have a physical shop, right, where you can sell and buy these things. But you have the right to social media because it's free. All you can do is sign up to it and create a page, and you have an online store, right? So for business growth, it's very important because it allows you to sell and buy things using those platforms, giving you a space where you can exist without even having the resources to do that. So social media is important because it allows business growth. And it also allows connectivity. It allows you to be able to reach out to people that are not within your vicinity. So you can talk to people that are abroad. You can find out what they are doing, who they are married to, what they look like now. If you are classmates before you came to uni, you get to find out all of those things. And just this morning, and may God rest his soul, we heard about the minister that died today. And some of us heard of it from social media, right? So it shows a really great importance because it keeps us connected. We wouldn't have known, but because of that platform, somebody put it out there and we're able to know today. So it causes, and it's a really good space for connectivity. Social media also allows for creativity, and this is my favorite part because a lot of us are very creative. But for us to be able to show our creativity to the world, we need a platform to show it. You have ideas, you have so many things that you want to tell the world, and in your own capacity, you cannot do that. So social media has given you that possibility to show your creativity and show what you're able to do with your world. You can give them ideas of what you are thinking. Maybe you have an art, you have a craft. You can share those things on social media. It has really, really, really become an important part of what we do today because it allows for our creativity. Another thing that social media does is that it allows for education. You know, back then, you could only have to go to school, like a university like SEU, for you to get education. But today, we learn from so many things that we see on social media. People teach makeup tips, people teach about health. There's so many things that you can learn from social media because it has provided that platform for us. Another thing that it does is civic engagement. In today's time, it has become a very, very huge part of who we are, especially as young people, because now we want to post whatever we feel about the government, about politics and things like that. It has given us a platform that we never had to express ourselves, given us a very, very huge, it has become a huge deal. It's important. So the young man behind said, it's a scam. It's not a scam because it has given you that opportunity to share what you have to say about different things, including politics, civic things that you never had the opportunity to say. Some of you or some of us will never have the opportunity to meet the president in person, but one day he might see something we posted about what's happening in our country, right? So it's a great opportunity for us to actually tap into. So that's why social media is important in today's time. Okay, now we're going to talk about the 2025 social media landscape. Now, when you think about the term landscape, it has to do with the features of anything. When it comes to geography, it's how a location presents itself. What are the features that we see when we look at social media? What does it present with in 2025? What does social media look like? When you look at it or when we see the features, what is it presenting with? Now, this is a big deal. So in 2025, we have over 5.2 billion people. That's about 64% of the world's population actively using social media. Now I want you to take a minute and think about that. 64% of the world is on social media. That's almost more than half of the world actually exists on social media, giving you a huge opportunity to show yourself to the world. So you use it wisely. And on average, people use 6 to 7 platforms monthly. So even here, most of you have more than one platform that you're using, and the average worldwide is people are using 6 to 7 platforms monthly, showing how fragmented and diverse the use of social media has become. The time spent on social media, this is where our parents now get upset. You're always online, you're in class, you're always online. It has come in a way to distract us, but it's also come in a way to help us. So on average, the world, this one that we have calculated, 64%, people spend about 2 hours, 30 minutes daily on social media. Just imagine the opportunity that you have. 64% of the world is actually waiting to see what you have to post. That's the opportunity that you have to reach. And they are on that platform, on these platforms, about 2 hours, 30 minutes every day. Now calculate that. How much is that when it comes to the end of the year? So much time that we spend on social media. Now, the social media landscape in 2025 is defined by mass adoption. That means that a lot of people are coming up to actually sign up onto these platforms. It's not like what it was before. Before, our parents just knew that, oh, social media was Facebook. You had to set it up for them. They never really knew what it was. But now, even when you're talking to your grandma, at least they know what Facebook is. They know what TikTok is. They have an idea. So it's been adopted by people more and more. We're getting to know about it. Multiple purpose use. Back in the days, only very few platforms existed. You know, in the early days of Facebook, it was only Facebook and it was new. People were even scared of using it. But now there's so many platforms that are coming up. We have WeChat. We have a lot of platforms that are just mushrooming. Pinterest. All these things never existed. So many. And as time goes on, more will come up. There's even platforms like BeReal. I don't know if you've heard about BeReal. So BeReal is a new social media platform. I think it was created somewhere around 2012. It's a social media platform where you get to share stuff only in a 2-hour window. So it uses a double dual camera. So when you take a picture, it doesn't take a picture of like your selfie, but it also shows your background. But the way it's set up to work is that on BeReal, you cannot use filters because it's created for people to show who they truly are within 2-hour periods. So there's platforms like that. And before we know it, in the future, there will be more. That's how the space is growing for social media. And then in today's time, social media is heavy on video-driven content. We have a low attention span as young people. Even most people have a very low attention span. So it's very unlikely that you're going to sit and watch a 1-hour video. And we like to joke about this in our household. My sister would rather watch TikToks and watch a 2-hour movie. Because it's just more interesting than watching something 1 hour, the same thing. But you have TikTok, 2 minutes, little seconds, you're watching different things at a lot of time. So it has become very video-centric when it comes to social media in today's time. And then there's strong creator influence. We've all heard of the influencers in today's time. We know what people are creating. It has become very heavy on influencers. Why? Because it's more likely that you're going to buy something from somebody you know and love, right? Because you know that this person is real. You know that they actually breathe, they live in Zambia. You're most likely going to buy something from them if you've seen them use it. So it has become very heavy on creators and influencers. Why? Because people like to relate to people that they know, they've seen and they love. So social media is growing in that space. Okay, then we'll talk about the social media average use across generations. We've got so many generations, and like we said, social media it's got mass adoption. So different generations and ages are actually picking it up. So how much time are these different generations actually spending on these platforms? So we have the Generation X. So Generation X are people who are born between 1965 to 1980. I don't know if I have anybody born in that in that age space here. So these people are about 45 to 60 years old. And these people spend about 1.9 hours daily on social media. There's someone that you know that's about that age. Who? Mr. Tim. Yes. So her age group spends about 1.9 hours daily. Is that true? 1.9 hours. Like 1 hour. Approximately. That's how much time that age group actually spends online. And then we have the baby boomers or the boomers. Now these people actually born between 1946 and 1964. They are about 61 to 79 years old. And these people spend about 1.2 hours daily on social media. And then we have the masses now, where all of us, most of us are falling, the Gen Zs. Now, these people are born between 1997 to 2012. They are about 13 to 28 years old. Now, these people are the ones leading social media in today's time. Why? Because they spend about 3.7 hours daily on social media. Some people even spend 5 hours. So these are averages. Yeah. 24 hours, yes, it's true. So we are leading this space. We spend a lot of time on social media. Then we have the millennials. So now, millennials are people who are born between 1981 and 1969. These are about 29 to 44 years old. Now, these people spend about 2.8 hours. So even the millennials are not safe. They spend a lot of time on social media. Now, this goes to show you how this social media has become so important and how marketing now has to really take place on this platform. Why? Because most of the population is actually there. So it creates an opportunity for you to market yourself on this platform. Almost the whole world, half of the world is there, creating such a huge opportunity for you. I just hope that you're using social media for the right things, because look at how many people are actually spending time to see your content. Massive, right? Okay. We'll talk about the major 2025 marketing trends. Now, when it comes to trends, we know trends, they vary. I'm going to talk about the marketing trends, but we even know social media trends that are happening. If you've heard of the clock it, you've heard it. Clock it, yeah? Yes, song clock it. You've heard things like that. Yeah, so trends now, what are the trends that we're seeing in social media marketing? The trends that we're seeing in social media in today's time or in 2025, number one is that AI integration in content and strategy. Before now, creating content needed to start from you having your phone. You actually take the video. You take a video, whatever content that you want to post, whatever, you go, you sit down, you edit it, then you upload it, and then you put it at the time that you want, you schedule the time you're going to go live and whatever and things like that. But in today's time, life has become so much easy because of AI. You don't have to sit down or pay somebody to video you. You can just go to an AI and it will create a video for you, making life so much easier when it comes to social media. And then we have the rise of social media commerce and in-app purchasing. We've all heard of Facebook Marketplace, right? You know, you can just go to your Facebook. If you're looking for a kama shirt, you can just type, oh, this type of shirt. You want to buy a pair of Sambas, you can find them on there. Before now, that was almost impossible. People back in the days, and they actually had to go to a website in order for them to buy. So you'd log on to your Amazon, you add something to your cart, and then you'd purchase it. But now you don't have to leave any social media platform in order for you to buy. You can do it on the social media platform. So that's how much these social media platforms have actually integrated. I've been taken back to TikTok. Some of you, I don't know if you've been on TikTok sometime, and then you'll see a video of, and this is common for the Asian Pacific countries. You find like the Chinese are selling something, 10 yen, buy now, very nice, very nice. You've seen those videos, right? That's in-app shopping. It has become so advanced, you can buy, you don't have to leave the app. So those are the things that are trending. Then I'll also emphasize again on short video form dominance. It's all about video now. People are no longer interested in your statics. They are more interested on videos. They want to see what's happening. Before time, it was all about, when Facebook and these other platforms began, it was mostly about microblogging. You write a kama post, sometimes you don't even add a kama photo, you just write, right? But now, people are not interested in that. You post something and you have a long paragraph, you are writing all your history, you're very intelligent, you've put your things there, get 2 likes. Because we don't have time to read what you have to say. Show us. I would rather have somebody do a funny video, they dance around, you know what I mean? They say something funny, and we'll like it. Why? Because now it's all about video. Video dominance is taking space. And then we have platform fragmentation and innovation. We used to have only like 2 platforms back then. How many of you remember the platform that was called MySpace? back in the days, MySpace, we had very few platforms. In the early times of Facebook, it was new, but now a lot of platforms are coming up, a lot. You can think about somebody who just wake up tomorrow and create a platform where you can just draw eyebrows. Because that's how these things are growing. Social media has become so fragmented. There's always a social media platform that's coming up. And then we have, people are now more drawn to authentic entertainment-driven engagement. People are not interested if you are only all the time you just post about buying. If you're a business brand, let's say, or SEO all the time, SEO is just talking about hire or register for a course, register for a course. They want to hear authentic stories. And when I go onto the SEO Facebook page, I actually found a very nice little video where somebody was giving their experience here. That's what people want to see. They want to see that real people have come to SEO, real people like you. Say something. They know that they can relate. Not all the time we're just posting, please register for a course. People want to hear stories. They want to see real life people that have come to SEO, experienced life, and that's what's trending. So now businesses have realized that we can't just be posting about selling something all the time. We have to give back to the community. We have to get on people to say how they've experienced this brand. And that's what's trending in today's time. And it's very important that if you're going to be a social media marketer or even an individual, because now we're not just people, we are brands. We represent ourselves online. You have to be able to tell authentic stories. Not all the time you just share somebody's thing. Your content is never authentic. You just copy what other people are doing. Share your story. Be authentic, be real, because that's what's trending. People want to hear the story behind the brand. They want to hear how it started out. And I'll give you a practical example is the brand Lay's, right? The story behind Lay's is very beautiful. How it came into pass, how they created the farms. People want to know that, like, what's the behind the scenes that you're talking about when it comes to your brand? Even for brands like you've all drank the Ceres drink, right? They have the Ceres farm, they tell you the story. It's beautiful. You want to learn that. You want to see that. So be authentic even as you are presenting your content on social media. Okay, then I'll jump onto some of us. This is it's going to be a very tricky one because a lot of people have different feelings about AI and automation. But it's very critical in 2025, even as years go by, because it has become important, especially when it comes to social media marketing. So AI and automation. AI and automation have shifted from being experimental tools to essential infrastructure in social media marketing. Before the years now, even before the beginning of platforms like ChatGPT, AI was an experiment. People didn't know, even the people that were creating it, if you hear the stories, they didn't know if it was going to work. And they didn't know the type of power it was going to have or how you could use it. They were just testing. It was an experiment. But in 2025, it's not an experiment anymore. It works. It's real. It's alive. It's definitely not a scam, but sometimes it is. But yeah, so AI is real. It's here. And we have to integrate it into social media marketing and also into some of the work that you do. But of course, it has parameters. We all have heard of the term garbage in, garbage out, right? You give a computer garbage to give you back garbage. And in today's AI time, it's about prompts. You give the AI the wrong prompt, it's going to give you the wrong information. That's why we have terms like personalization. When you're using an AI, you have to be able to personalize it. So meaning you give it parameters for where you want it to reach. I'll give you a practical example. SEO, we want to set up a Facebook page, right? And we want to say, we want it to write for us a bio. We want the AI to write for us a bio about SEO. Something short, something catchy, so that when people go on it, they can see it. And we just say, we are SEO, we're putting this in a ChatGPT prompt, for example. I want you to write for me a bio about SEO. It's a Christian university. It's going to give you everything about what it thinks, right? But when you give it parameters, you say, look, this is the name of our institution. This is what we believe in. These are our objectives. This is what we're trying to do. Please write me a short bio that I can use for Facebook. That's about maybe 250 words. Then it will give you a proper information that you can actually put there. So AI coupled with personalization is what's happening in today's time. So some of the trends that we see when it comes to utilizing AI in social media marketing is number one, it can create content faster. So AI can write captions, it can write scripts, it can even create images. I think there's this new trend that's happening, especially on Facebook and TikTok, where there's that ape that's creating videos. You've seen the ape will come up and say something very funny, like, that type of content. So AI is able to actually create your videos. It can create your content. It's made things so much easier. And secondly, it can automate and schedule posts to go live for you. Back in the days, if you are a social media manager, right? Let's say you manage social media platforms. In order for you to post something, you had to go onto the platform. So first of all, you log into the platform, you put your password, whatever, then you go on to if you wanted to post something at 10 hours, it means that at 9:50 something, you are typing what you have to post, right? For it to go live at the time you want. But in today's time, because of AI and automation, we have things like Meta. You can go on to Meta and pre-schedule your posts. So you don't even have to be there. You can have a content calendar for the whole month, and you've given it the different times. Let's say as SEU, you post 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and you say, we want our posts to go live every time on these days at 10 hours. It's able to do that for you, making life so much easier. It's also able to monitor sentiments. Now, sentiments has to do with how people feel about your brand or your page. How do they feel? Let's say you have a social media platform, a personal brand. The people that are interacting with your work, how do they feel about you? Do they think that the content that you're putting out it's positive? Is it negative? Is it neutral? AI is able to pick up those things about your brand. It can even spot crises even before they happen. Another example that I can give you is when I was managing the Lays page, when it was very new here in Zambia. How many of you have heard of the campaign, No Lays, No Game? Nobody. How many of you have eaten Lays before? Do you know who, you love football? How many of you love football? Maybe you listen, yeah. Do you know the player that partners with Lays? Yes, you see? So the whole purpose of the No Lays, No Game is when you think about football, we want you to think about what? Lays. So once it came on to Zambia, we did what we called the Lays watch party, and we wanted people to watch the Premier League on a big screen and eat Lays. So we did that campaign here in Zambia, and it went very well. We were at CBU, at Unza. People started loving the brand. People were buying Lays. I'm sure when you walked into your shop, right, you would see those ads and those cards around. So it was very successful here in Zambia. And the client thought, okay, since it's been so successful in Zambia, let's try it in Ghana. So we opened the Lays Ghana page, and everything was fine. We started the No Lays, No Game, until we were sharing tips about how best you can use Lays outside of the normal way of how you eat it. We were used to eating it as crisps, right? And me, I had the great idea is, what if you just sprinkle some Lays on your jollof rice? Because, I mean, it's East Africa, right? They love jollof. I thought it was a brilliant idea. So we came up with that idea and we posted it. You know, share a Lays and sprinkle some Lays on your jollof. Oh my God. Did the people get upset? Because apparently in Western Africa, they don't like to play with their jollof rice. And it's an insult for you to add Lays on jollof. So there was chaos on the Facebook page. People were mad. How can you be doing this? And things like that. And the AI that we were using, or some of the platforms that we use, the software like HubSpot, was able to actually give us those reports, because outside of the page, people started commenting about how bad Lays is performing and how they're disrespecting their favorite jollof rice. And we're able to spot those things, and we did a little bit of PR and resolved that situation. I said, no, it was just a joke, because at the end of the day, publicity is publicity. So we got some likes and we made that work. So AI is able to spot those things. It can even see, it's not God, so it can't predict the future, but it can actually give you the sentiments of what's happening around your brand. Okay, so another thing that it does, it personalizes at scale. So it uses automated tools to tailor your ads and messages for segmented audiences. So now what this means is that we know that social media is fragmented. It's got more than one platform, right? So in order for you to create content that's going to attract people on those different platforms, it has to be different. The type of content that you're going to put on your Facebook, for example, is not going to present itself the same on your TikTok. It's not going to be the same for your X, right? Because the platforms are different. Even the way they are set up, it's different. So before then, as a social media manager, or if you work in digital marketing, you had to actually start creating this content for each of those platforms. So you come, you do your Facebook Facebook post, you have to change it to be suited for Instagram, you have to change it to be suited for X. But with AI now, you can just have one content and ask it to segment according to those different platforms, making life so much easier. Another thing it can do is predict trends. Now, somebody say clock it. So clock it. AI is able to predict trends, right? So even before something happens, if something is brewing around the social media platform, it can bring you those things that are related to your brand that's trending, so that you can use it in your content. Okay, then we'll talk about platform evolution. Now, platform evolution is the way social media networks have transformed from being simple digital meeting spots to complex ecosystems for content, commerce, and culture. So we're going to actually take a step. What were platforms looking like before? These social media platforms that we've described, what were they before? What are they now? So they've gone through a 5-fold kind of step. I like to call it 5-fold because they've gone through kind of 5 stages, and who knows, maybe after now they'll go through more changes. So the first stage that the platforms went through was the social start. So now these were the early days of Facebook, MySpace. So the way they were created, even the interface was very simple. You had a small phone, you'd go onto Facebook, it had a very tiny picture. It was simple, the profiles were simple, all you had to do is connections, your friends, and your Kama post. Simple, right? Very, very, very simple. We had MySpace and things like that. So the interface was simple, and marketing was far. They never even thought it was possible to use that interface to market things. People never thought it was going to happen, but it's happening today. And then we shifted from that social start, we went into the media shift. So during this period was the era of the YouTube, the Twitter, Instagram, and these things became like a hub for publishing. So during that time, these platforms started to work the way media agencies work. So for example, the Facebook itself had to create content for you to watch. Instead of just informing you that, okay, Facebook has now introduced Meta, it's now introduced Threads, giving you information about itself, it didn't have to do that. It had to give you the content for you to actually watch because it was very new. So they started to act like media agencies during that time. And then we had the mobile first. During the mobile first was the introduction of now the smartphones. How many of us remember BlackBerry? If you had a BlackBerry back in those days, it was big. Like, it was just so new. Now people could actually see things. You could see pictures. You know, even though the pixels were bad, but at least we could see something. You know what I mean? During that era, it became so interesting to the point at which these platforms now started to create content that was tailored for smartphones. And then we moved to the algorithm stage. Now, this stage and the creator and commerce stage is where we are at. During the algorithm stage, feeds have become more data-driven. What I mean by this is, when you are watching things on your Facebook, your Instagram, even on your TikTok, it's tailored to the things that you like. Before then, it was changanya. Everything, you see everything. But now, if you like to read about Christ or you like to listen to Christian content, you'll find that your social media platform is giving you Christian content. If you're a motorhead, it will be giving you things about what you like. Why? Because now feeds are data-driven. They're collecting data from what you like, the things that you enjoy, the things you've been liking. That's why the expression started happening, where people started feeling like these phones are listening to us. You've heard that, and especially our parents are like, these phones, they listen to us. You were talking about something, you go online, you find it there. Why? Because they're actually collecting data. They're trying to see where you are at and things like that. So also during this time, organic reach has fallen off. Back in the days, it was very important. When you post something, you'd get good likes because the algorithm was set up to be organic. But in today's day, the algorithm is not set up to be organic. That's how you'll find that you have great content, but you have 2 likes. You have 3 likes. You hired a photographer, you did the best you could do. Great stuff. But the algorithm is set up against you because Facebook, Instagram, all these platforms, they want you to pay to get the views. So sometimes it's not even you, it's the algorithm. So now you're not working only on organic, you have to work with paid media. So now social media is not just about organic feed, it's coupled with organic and paid media. And then we have the creator and commerce stage. Now this is where the content creators are now thriving. How many of you have heard of Grace Mu? I failed to pronounce it. It's a South African influencer, Grace Mudando or something. I don't know how to pronounce it. This famous girl, she's bored now. If you've been seeing her, she recently got a car. She partnered with Honda. They gave her a first car and things like that. She's really trending in South Africa. Anyway, there's creators like that. I'll bring it back here. We have people like, I don't know the influencers that you follow, but the trending ones. Even Your Maps is an influencer now. We see his content. Things like that. These people are now trending. Why? Because people have realized, like I said, we don't just want to be related to a brand. We want to know a brand that is real and people have actually tested the product. So now influencers are running the show when it comes to social media. And this provides a huge opportunity for us as Christians. There aren't enough content creators that are Christian that are posting content things that are going to touch people's lives. So this is a great opportunity for you, because in today's era, it's important. Influencers are driving the show. They are actually pulling the strings. And if you see some of the social media budgets that go to influencers, you'd be surprised how much these influencers are doing. For just short videos, how much these companies are actually paying them. That's an opportunity for you to create something, to go out there and make your money. So those are the stages that social media has actually gone through. And then we'll talk about commerce and expansion. Social commerce expansion. Now, social commerce expansion has become one of the fastest growing areas of social media in 2025, transforming platforms into full shopping destinations. Like I said, you no longer have to leave your social media platform in order for you to buy. We have the TikTok shop. You can buy from TikTok shop. You have Facebook Marketplace. You can buy from Instagram shop. You don't have to leave in order for you to buy anything. Be within your app. Now, this has provided a huge opportunity for these social media platforms, because now they're making money from brands. You want to sell and buy, you go onto the brand, you partner with them, you pay so that the audiences can see those things. So features such as live shopping events, like the example I had given, you find people online, they're selling something, people are commenting, they're purchasing, they're putting their numbers fast. We have things like shoppable videos. How many of you have seen a video, maybe even for the release of the iPhone 17? You know, where they were showing a 3D version of the iPhone 17, how it looks like, you can turn it around, you can experience it. A shoppable video, you can see the features. Things have become easy now. Within social media, you didn't leave your Facebook, but you're seeing the ad for the iPhone 17, and you're experiencing it, making life so much easier as well. And then we have easy checkouts. So now when you're buying on these social media platforms, remember before you had to add to your cart, you add your details and what and what. Now these phones have your details in advance. If you put them already, you don't have to go and sign in and put, all you have to do is accept you've bought, you didn't leave the app. Life so much easier, so much better. So it has turned entertainment. It's no longer just about entertainment now, it's a shopping mall. These social media platforms. Now this shift is driven again by the younger consumers, the millennials, the Gen Zs, because the Gen Zs are fast, you know? They don't want to be wasting time going to platforms doing what. They want something quick. You do it within the app. So they are driving this trend. And brands are also now responding with interactive product demos and influencer-led campaigns and AI-powered recommendation. So as a result, social commerce is no longer just an add-on, but it's a primary thing on social media. And it's very big and it's happening. Okay, then we have the return on investment. That's your ORI measurement. Now for any business, whether you're a school, you're a brand, you have to get something in order for you to exist on this platform. You don't just want to be on Facebook and not make money if you're a brand. You want to be on these platforms and get a return on investment. You have to have something back at the end of the day. You don't just want to get 1 million likes and then nothing happens. What's your return on investment? Now, you have to get something back. So in 2025, brands are moving beyond just vanity metrics. These brands now, they're not just caring about, the likes that you have, the things like that, the comments. They want what happens after the likes. What's the next step? How do we get the value for the money? We've invested in ads. We've paid people to work on these social media platforms. We've done a huge marketing budget that goes on to social media. How do we get our money back? We need to get our money back through sales. That's how come you would be on your Facebook and there's a link to go to a website. they want a return on investment. They want generation, they want lead generation. They want to get somebody to actually buy a product. For example, as SEU, when we exist on social media and we're posting about maybe, let's say the Scholars Program, right? And we want people to sign up for 2026. We've made a post on Facebook. We don't just want people to like and get 1 million likes. We want people to sign up, go to the website and actually register for the course. That's the return on investment. So some of the results that you can actually measure when it comes to return on investment. Remember, we're not just focusing on vanity things. It's no longer just about likes, comments, followers. We want a return on investment. We can calculate conversion sales. Now, this can be things like donations. How many people have actually gone onto the site on SEU and donated something or paid for something? How many signups did we actually have? Then we have lead generation. Now, these are qualified prospects for a campaign. People that have actually taken the next step to go to the website and actually register. You want those numbers. You don't just want to go through all these things that we have learned and at the end of the day, come back empty. Okay, so now I have a little case study for us to take here. And I'm going to use the SEU as an example. So let's say as SEU, we are going to do a social media post, a social media campaign. Now this is going to be, the reason why we're doing this is we want people to sign up for the Scholars Program 2026, right? We say, okay, what are the objectives or the tactics that we're going to use? We say we're going to target Facebook and Instagram ads. How many times are we going to, what are we going to do in order to do that? We're going to do 2 videos to highlight the success stories of the Scholars Program. And then we'll do a live Q&A where alumni can actually answer questions that people are going to do. We've set our objectives. Then, now what are the results that we want to get at the end of the day? For example, we want to reach 40,000 people in 2 weeks that we're going to post. Then we want to drive about 2,000 visits to the donation page on the SEU website. And then we want to collect about 18,000 in donations. We've set the objectives, we're clear, we know what we want to get out of it. We've posted. What are the results now that we get? We've got 40,000 people that have signed up. We've got about 200 people visited the page, and at the end of the day, people have actually signed up and we've raised about 18,000. We have our return on investment. When you get that now, what's the story that you're going to tell? Because remember, we're using social media, right? We have to tell the story. On Facebook, we have to show that we've done something. So now we tell the social media story. We would say, for every kwacha we spent, we brought in about 6 kwacha in donation. So we spent about 3,000 on doing ads. And for every kwacha that we spent in that 3,000, we brought back 6 kwacha. That's our return on investment. And then, but most importantly, remember, we're not focusing on the vanity things. We're focusing at the end goal, the bigger picture. Most importantly, we built a list of 1,200 new potential students for 2026. We've told our story. At least we've seen the impact of what our social media platform is able to do. So, some of the things that I would advise once you want to measure your return on investment is, first of all, connect your goals to what you believe in. Shouldn't just be about, okay, let's have an objective. Let's put this, we want that. Your return on investment should be objectives that really matter to the organization. It should really matter. It should be, maybe, it's not just about getting people to sign up. It's about people who are going to come onto the school, learn and experience God at its best. That's the big picture of what we want to get out of it. And then, you have to be able to track and measure with precision. So highlight your key tools. What do you want to get out? Is it website analytics? Is it conversions? Do you want to get a cost per acquisition? And then the lifetime value of the people that actually sign up onto the platform. And like I said, you also tell the story at the end of the day. Okay, as we are wrapping up, we look at the future outlook. What do the next 5-10 years look like for social media? So social media is not standing still. It keeps moving, it keeps changing, it's evolving. And in the next few years, it will become bigger. Some of the things that we expect. Number 1, AI and generative tools will become the core. So automated content creation will be optimized for ads, allowing brands to do more with fewer resources. Remember, now you don't need to hire all those people in between to do your content. You can just use an AI instead of paying people to do all of those things. So we've cut down a lot of costs from production costs, having cameras, that we've cut out all those middle people. We're just using AI. So it has reduced the cost. So more people will begin to use this in the future. And then social commerce will continue to expand. So it will now, you've heard of augmented realities or virtual reality. It will become the norm of what we do on social media. Now you'll go on social media, and when brands are selling you, they'll create a virtual reality for you to actually experience something. And we're seeing it happen. It will even grow to a grand scale. Who knows, maybe you will just be able to put your picture there and you can try on a dress virtually. You know, things are changing, they're moving. We also expect creator power to strengthen. So if you think influencers are annoying now, you can only imagine how they will be the next 10 years. They will be big. It will be a full-time job, because now these brands are not just going to partner with these influencers for a short term. It's going to be a long-term thing. It will be the way soccer players sign contracts, the way Messi signs contracts. It's not going to be for a short period where an influencer signs with the SEU brand and they only do like a 3 months, 2 months, 3 days post. No, it will be a long period of time, because it's not going to be transactional anymore. It's just not going to be you pay an influencer, they post today, tomorrow they're posting about your competitor. No, it will be long term. And then we have search and discovery. Platforms will double as search engines. We've heard of our Google, right? When you go onto your Google, you type something, you're looking for something, it will give you information. That's how social media is going to be working. In the next 5 years, they will work like search engines. People will no longer be using the Google or the search engines. They'll just be going to these social media platforms, type what they want, and get the information. So because of that, when you have these social media platforms, you have to work like them. And the way you're going to do that is if you use keywords. We all know that these platforms use keywords in order to find you. And on social media, keywords are hashtags. They're very important, because that's how people will find your content. So begin to work like that. And then we have privacy regulations. Now, because of how accessible information is becoming, regulations will be tight. You can't just post people's information now. We have the cybersecurity laws. You can't just say anything about people anymore. Why? Because it's regulated. It's important. People's information is becoming important. We've seen that even on our WhatsApp. You have to now put a password on your WhatsApp. Why? Because they want to protect your information. Because of how accessible AI is making everything, it becomes important that you follow regulations to do the right things on these social media platforms. And then we'll have immersive and blended realities. Like I said, these things of virtual reality, augmented reality will become a big thing, and they already are. So you have to move with the times. And the good part within today's time is that there's software that you can use to actually make that possible. And I'm hoping that maybe next time when I'm invited, we can talk a little bit about the software that's free that you can use in order to achieve some of these things. Okay, now we're wrapping up. I'm going to give you a few recommendations, and I only have 8. So the first recommendation that I'll give you is adopt AI strategically. Please, don't use AI. Don't let it lead you. Lead the AI. Let it be your assistant, not your boss. Not everything they give you an assignment, the first thing you think about is, I'm going to ask ChatGPT. Be the boss. Be the boss of these social media platforms. You be the leader. Let them follow you. You are the boss. It's like having a free assistant that you don't pay. Use it wisely. Then the next thing I advise is optimize for discovery. Now, don't just use social media the way you used to think about it. Use it with keywords. Be strategic. You want people to find you. If your goals are to be an influencer, be strategic in the type of information that you find. Brands will find you. And the good thing about existing on social media, sometimes with brands, we don't always want people with the numbers. When it comes to influencers and creators, we have 3 types. We have micro-influencers, we have mono-influencers, and then we have the big influencers. Sometimes we're looking for the simple person, and we'll work with them. It happens. So be very careful how you put out your information, because we'll find you. Because again, remember, your information is there. We find you easily. We can pull up your stats. Some of you don't know, but we talk about you in these boardrooms because you're posting content. So be very strategic in how you use these things. So another recommendation that I have is master social listening and data insights. Use tools to monitor sentiments, spot trends, and information. AI is free, you guys. There's so much software that you can use for free. so that you can gain sentiments for how you are performing online. Use them. Create brands for yourself. Be someone online. And that's the good part about social media is you might be just a simple person, they don't even know you, but on LinkedIn you are big, you know what I mean? You exist in spaces. People are hearing about some of the things that you are doing. So use these tools. They work. They are free. Use them. Then experiment with shoppable content and augmented realities or experiences. Integrate commerce into your posts. So whether you're a personal brand, you're a big brand, sell something. Don't just exist on on these platforms. Have something that you have to get so that you can have a return on investment. You can sell a class, for example. Maybe you are very good at knitting. You can start doing tips. People will find you. Use these things. And then prioritize ethics, transparency. It's very important in today's time. They will arrest you. We've seen it happen. So be very careful how you're using these social media platforms. Yes, it's free, freedom of speech, but they have limitations in how you have to use them. And make sure that you follow these regulations. And in today's time with AI, these social media platforms, they give you the option to state whether your content is AI generated or free. So be transparent. And measure with purpose. So when you get to now tracking your return on investment, measure purposefully. Don't just focus on the vague things. So track conversions, lifetime value, downstream the impacts, not just to likes and shares, but go further. And lastly, stay agile, test fearlessly. Social media is evolving fast. So move with it, learn things, find ways in which you can use it, be fast. And on that note, I always like to tell this story. Have you ever heard of the story of the ugly ducks in heaven? Anybody? Yeah. Not you. You never heard of that story. So there were 3 women. They used to be friends and they were driving and they died in a road car accident, 3 of them. And they went to heaven and they met St. Peter. And you know how Peter is, very friendly guy. They arrived in heaven and he said, "Oh, welcome to heaven. In heaven we only have 1 rule. 1. Don't step on the ugly ducks." And there were a lot of ugly ducks in heaven. So these women went about living their lives. The first woman was careless. She stepped on the ugly duck. St. Peter came with the most ugly man you could think of. He was not very appealing to the eye. And he got that woman and said, "You're going to be bound to this man forever and ever for the rest of eternity." And he went away. And there were 2 women remaining. And these women were careful. They didn't want to step on the ugly ducks. But you know how unfortunate things have it. Another woman stepped on an ugly duck. Yet again, St. Peter came and said, "You stepped on an ugly duck. I'm bounding you to this ugly man for the rest of time." And then there was only 1 woman, and she was careful. She did not want to be bound to an ugly man. She never stepped on an ugly duck. Years went by. Then St. Peter came back with the most handsome man in the world. And he bound them together and said, "You're going to be bound together for the rest of time." And this woman was shocked. He walked away, said nothing, and asked the man after some time, "I don't know what I did to deserve you. All my friends stepped on ugly ducks and they were bound to an ugly man. But me," you know how women are, "I'm bound to a very handsome man." And the man says, "I also don't know. All I know is that I stepped on an ugly duck." So, the moral of the story is this, The moral of the story is this. Don't be afraid to take risks. Social media is not a scam, my friend. It's here, use it wisely. And the good part with children of God is that we have inspiration from the Holy Spirit. You use these things with knowledge, with wisdom. Don't be afraid to take risks. Research. Use your social media for the right things. Otherwise, you'll remain behind, and who knows, you'll be the ugly duck. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kasonganyaka Olamungan. Thank you.